Alright people, how yous all doing? I'm just plodding on, feeling better and getting on with it. Before I get into this, right, can I just say a couple of wee things to people that are leaving comments and all that? Anthony, right, I read all your comments and they're really good, obviously, but I don't mind you writing big scripts and all that, but I'm like, when I'm reading it, I'm like, how do I even reply? Because I'm not just got to write a wee one sentence to like big paragraphs you're writing, because like I remember when I was in prison, right, I used to write fucking 10-page letters to people who would write like 2 pages to me because I just have a lot to say and I'm quite deep that way. Um, so somebody was saying to me ages ago about doing a live, right? And I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. I just didn't think, like, I was like, how would you even do that? What would you say? Do you know what I mean? But maybe one time soon, I'm thinking about just doing one, and then that way, if people want to like talk about stuff, then we could just do that. If people want to come on and talk about shit and ask questions or whatever, then I was thinking about that would maybe be the best way to do it. I don't really know. Just see what people think in it. Um, but I do appreciate all the comments, and I don't think there's anything wrong with writing a lot of stuff. Like if you have stuff to say, just say it, man. Like fuck him that doesn't like it, innit, man. At the end of the day, you do what you think's right and what's working for you. Do you know what I mean? So cheers for leaving comments and that anyway. Um, what was I got to say? So I thought I'd come on and do a video um, before I need to take my son to karate, and then I have class later on the night as well. So I'm got to be busy today, and I know I've not been home for a couple of days. Um, been just reading hundreds of stuff, trying to kind of figure out how to come at my Luke Mitchell video, to be honest, and the more I'm kind of reading and all that, I don't want to come at it for any kind of legal points because I'm not about that's for lawyers. I'm coming at it for I want to come at it for a criminal perspective as somebody who's met a lot of violent offenders and who's been a violent offender. I've never been any that kind of level of whoever done that, but or whatever happened with it. But I want to do just my own video on it. I don't want to be influenced. I just want to like kind of go over a lot of stuff and then make my video it and whatever I say in it. So that's that. Um, what was I got to say as well? Um, Big Jerry done a podcast with Sean Atwood. Choking to fucking see this, man. Big Jerry. Shout out my big pal. So he made a couple of attempts to do a podcast with Sean Atwood, right? But there was something wrong with the sound. I think it was on Jerry's end, but I'm not sure. So what ended up happening was Jerry just bounced on a train down to England. I think it was Bristol, and they met up. They were sitting talking for 5 hours. Now I don't know if Sean's got to put out a 5 hour podcast. Know what I mean? You never know, but might be like split into two halves. But I could guarantee you're not going to be disappointed, man, because Jerry's got some fucking stories, man, and it's the way he tells it as well. You're just buckled. You've seen me talking on my channel with him, know what I mean? You're just fucking howling with the stuff that he's seen, and do you know what I mean? You're just like fucking hell. Like it's almost like you're in disbelief, but you know what I mean? But so I recently done a video on like knife crime um, in schools, right? And it kinda spurred me on to do a, video on like see like stuff that relates to my own background, my own criminal history, and as a young teen and all that, because this was a major part of my offending behaviour. Knife culture, underage drinking, gang fighting. Like when I was a kid, it was absolutely mental. I mean, mayhem. The scheme I live in, it's not even close to that, right? Nowhere near it, in fact. I don't know why that is, but could be a number of things. And I don't want it to get that way because we're talking people getting seriously fucking hurt. On both sides, nobody comes out of that unscathed, man. Like, and it makes you kind of think back to my own history and the kind of things that I was doing in my local community, the way I was conducting myself. And to be honest, I'm actually lucky that I'm not a knife murder statistic, to be fair. Whether I was the killer or the victim, that's just speaking fucking facts, know what I mean? It's not trying to glorify it. There's no glory in it. When you're fucking 15-year-old, 18-year-old, 21-year-old, and you've just got in a drunken fight about you're for that side of the fucking road and I'm for this side, and all that kind of stuff, and so this kind of territoriality in it. It's like an old lifer in jail who I met, done a lot of time down south, Cat A jails, not. He called it clan mentality because we were talking about how down England, down south and all that, a lot of the young teams, I don't think they call it that down there, I think that's a Scottish terminology, but down there, even all the wee guys are running about fucking, like, it's like, they're all punting, they're all carrying, they're all fighting our streets, who's making money, whatever, but I think sometimes up here, for what I can see, it's like a lot of young boys are trying to transplant that culture down England to here. That's not gonna that's not really gonna pan out well because the younger you start committing crime, your sentences will get bigger and bigger. And if there's some wee guy out there, listen man, see when I was fucking 14, 18, there was nobody getting through to me, man. You couldn't have, because I was so wrapped up in this self-image of indestructibility, just want to take out my pain on other people. But at that time, I didn't think I was in pain. I just felt this fucking... It was like seeing instead of blood in my veins, it was like lava or ice water. And that sounds contradictory, but it was like an undercurrent of lava with an overlay of ice water. Now that sounds just so... How could you have lava and ice water mixed together? You couldn't. But I'm just talking like hypothetically try to get this point across. Like, it was like I felt nothing, but there was an undercurrent of feeling everything, and that's at the kind of psychic level, the level in my soul. It wasn't like fucking I was just walking about pure angry all the time. Aye, there was just shit setting me off, and I would fly into this crazy fucking... I didn't care if there was somebody that done something, say we Mr X for Scheme Y, who was running about doing the same shit I was doing, but maybe to a lesser or a greater degree. And then if I seen an opportunity to rectify whatever I felt that person had done, then I took that chance. It wouldn't matter if it was out in the street or fucking outside a police station, in a job centre. Didn't matter. It was happening. unless there was something seriously impeding my um, my goals, what I wanted to achieve. Um, and when I was on talking about the Bailey Gwyn stuff and the knife culture, I'm like, this happened at one of the top schools in Scotland, which is just, it happens in any school's fucking bad enough, man. It doesn't matter if it's the worst school in Scotland or the best school. That happens anywhere, it's just no good. But it made me think how the school that my son goes to now, right? It's the same name in as the one I went to, but it's like the one I went to was demolished and rebuilt at the one I went to was like on a kind of the top of a road, but they had built it down the bottom of the road, so it's not even on the same bit of ground where my school was. It's the same school, it's just on a different plot of land and all that. But when I went to this school, there was like, say maybe 6 different schemes, right? All went to this school. But when I went there, I don't recall. I'm not gonna lie, I was there a brief period. I think I was kicked out after 6 months and I had 3 suspensions in that time, just for crazy shit. Like, I remember I flung an egg at a teacher and all that. Just, I was fucking immature, know what I mean? Maybe seeking attention, whatever you want to call it. But all the boys from my scheme who I jumped about with, who we all jumped about gang fighting, smoking weed, underage drinking, all that shit that goes part and parcel with that whole culture. There was like, I think there was only 2 of us that weren't kicked out, but I was kicked out. Me and my brother were kicked out at the same time. And I can remember when we were kicked out that I used to go to my best pal's house first thing the morning, right? And we would just decide what we were doing that day. And I remember that we would all meet up. We would get our scarves round our faces, our hats pulled low, jacket with the hood up, Bergos, whatever the fuck it was, right? And then just grab a big machete, grab a fucking iron bar, a baseball bat, and we'd actually walk right into the school either during playtime or lunchtime, and we would just run right through this school looking for people who we knew were doing the same things as us but in other schemes, who, if they had caught us somewhere and there was more of them and less of us, then we'd have had a problem, obviously, know what I mean? But this school was in our area. They were at a disadvantage. It's like they were playing the away game, you know, we were playing the home game, you know what I'm talking about? And they had a big long podium, right? And we would just walk right in the school and just open these big fucking double doors and there's just pupils everywhere. And then we would just go, just point and just go, we just sprint and chase all these people, man. And there was a couple of times the PE teachers chased us out the fucking school, right? And we never ever ever caught any of them in the school, right? But when I come on and when I come on and done that video, I was sitting thinking about the wee guy getting stabbed in school. Not, I'm sitting thinking like, I'm a scumbag, man. I'm sitting trying to talk about shit that I've done. I've never killed anybody, right? I've stabbed people and I've been stabbed, right? So that's the perspective that I'm coming for, because that, see, when you hear about that, like even wee guys get into school with knives, man, you just want to grab them and slap them, man. And I'm sitting going, you were the worst one ever doing it. But it's like what I said before. You wouldn't, if you wanted to talk about being an alcoholic, being a drug addict, who would you go and talk to about it? Somebody who'd had a fucking drug habit and go off it. Somebody who'd been mad with the booze, go off it. You're not going to go and talk to somebody who went to uni for 5 years, read all about taking drugs, but's never took a fucking asket for a sore head. I wouldn't anyway. You want to talk to somebody who's what they call themselves lived experience, right? So some people might think, oh, it's hypocritical that you say wee guys carrying fucking blades to school, blah blah blah, but you done it. Aye, right, I get your point, but in order to see what, in order to see the evil in it, I think sometimes you have to have walked that path. You have to have personal experience it. It's not like fucking what I've just said about somebody that's just went to uni and read about it, because like, what can they tell you that you've not already felt, already experienced? Because I think a lot of the time in our prison system, that's why a lot of guys disengage with psychology and social work, because these people are trying to tell you how you think, feel, and what could you have done differently. See, when they say that, pre-programmed bullshit, that just fucking annoys me, man. I'm like, just roll my eyes, man. It's like your actual quoting a book you read. To me, that just sounds like that. It sounds so fake and false as fuck. Do you know what I mean? And nae harm to them, but it was like I was in therapy for 2 years, right? Don't really mind saying that. For my anxiety and kind of PTSD features and all that, right? And I got more out of that 2 year of therapy than 20 year worth of fucking prisons, psyches and psychologists, social workers, right? And I told the therapist that, and she says to me, and I love it when they ask me these questions, man, I just love it. Why do you think that is, Chris? And I said, because when I'm speaking to you, you didn't know anything about me. You just came at this from a clinical perspective. There's a guy who's got anxiety and PTSD issues, right? Wants to talk, right? So she's just coming at it from that angle. He's having nightmares about shit and all that, whatever, right? These Kafkaesque nightmares where I would be in the dock of the High Court getting sentenced to life, right? But I hadn't committed a crime, and they wouldn't tell me why I was being sentenced to life. So this kind of, if you've ever read Franz Kafka, The Trial, just, it was like that. And it used to pure fucking freak me out, sitting thinking about that, because it was like somebody commented on me the other day um, about like always when the police are pulling you up, even if you've not done nothing, just on the basis of your past, they could lift you if they wanted to, and you couldn't do fuck all about it. You're in the system now, mate. You need to go to court and explain. You need to explain yourself. Look at your past. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how fucking long you stayed out. You know what I mean? Guys stayed out a lot longer than me, and maybe had an argument with their bird, and the police have showed up, right? And it might have been the last that started it, right? But they don't even give a fuck. They just go, we're taking you in, you're the guy. Like, do you know what I mean? And there's just so much of this that goes on, do you know what I mean? So this is why I keep my circle very small. I don't let anybody near me who I think is just going to bring any sort of negativity, because I know what I can be like if the wrong people around me. Like, I'm not letting anybody put me in hospital or try and take my life or get me put in prison. I'm not letting that happen. Do you know what I mean? And I would do what I had to do to survive. That's just the way it is. I've got a life to fucking live, you know what I mean? I think I've missed out enough. But my whole point is, like, when I was talking about the school stuff, like how I used to carry weapons to school, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I remember this school I went to eventually had a police presence, in the police, there would be two uniformed cops. We're talking the mid-90s here, right? We're talking 1996, 1997, this was all happening. And there'd be two cops patrolling the school. Not at mornings, but they might have been in the mornings, I don't fucking know, right? But they would walk around the school at break and lunch, and they would be there at home time. And I remember a couple of times they started walking around the scheme because the school's just fucking over the road. They'd pulled me up a couple of times. They actually took me up to my gran's house and started saying about all the shit we were doing, because my gran obviously knew what I was like, but she didn't know the fucking ins and outs, know what I mean? And I dare say that she must have knew where all this was coming from, do you know what I mean? It must have been coming, it was coming for the shit with my dad dying and just taking the anger out on anybody else, know what I mean? Like, and being wrapped up in this kind of, I hate calling it gang culture, like, there's initiation ceremonies, not, but we all have different ideas of different words in it, but doesn't mean you've got a good grasp of what that word means. But I suppose gangs are in degree, no in kind, in it, if you get me. But when I was sitting thinking about that Bailey Gwyn stuff, I was like, kicking off out a fucking biscuit, man, and some boy's lost his fucking life. How many times could me or somebody that I know been in that situation? Like my young cousin, it was his anniversary yesterday, or the day before. And it made me think, like, some drunken argument, somebody's lost their fucking life, somebody's day in a lifer. Two fucking lives, two families fucking ruined, do you know what I mean? And what for? To save face with who? Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say. This fucking whole thing is just nonsense. It's a pure rat race, man. And like, people keep saying you should go into schools. Like, it doesn't work like that. I can't just turn up at a school and say, my name's Chris, and fucking I go on YouTube and talk about fucking knife crime and carrying weapons to school and all that shit. I don't really know how it works, but it is something that I'd maybe consider doing a wee bit further down the line. Once I get my volunteering up and running. But that's definitely happening. That's in the works and all that. Know what I mean? So spoke to the guy a good few times, man. Guy's sound as fuck. Know what I mean? It's for a prison background. He's selling that. Do you know what I mean? I think everybody that volunteers for it is so. Well, 90% of them anyway. I think there's a couple of kind of admins and all that, but you know what I mean. You get the picture. But that's what we're talking about. Using lived experience to talk about all this kind of stuff is what I say. Nobody's got to listen to you if you have never picked up a weapon. You're trying to talk about using weapons, you know what I mean? Or you're trying to talk about fucking having a cocaine and stripper habit, but you've never been in a fucking strip club or took a line of gear. You know what I mean? It's just logic, innit? Do you know what I mean? But this whole thing, like, as I says, like, this gang stuff and all that, it's no as bad as when I was a kid in my scheme. I'm not talking about anywhere else, right? Because I can't speak for anywhere else, because I don't fucking keep tabs on it, do you know what I mean? But I dare say there's areas out there that are still fucking probably as bad as they were when I was a kid, but it's just a never ending cycle in a lot of places. But like where I live, I just see drug use is through the roof, man, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just fucking, maybe, I don't know if I just notice it more because I'm older, do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it's just fucking, it's just not a nice thing to watch, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking, it's just a parasitic lifestyle, innit? It's just fucking horrendous, man. Do you know what I mean? And it would be good if everybody could see the error of their ways, if you want to put it like that. But some people just can't beat their demons, man. Do you know what I mean? I just made pals with my demons. It's not about, I'm never going to beat my demons. Just make friends with them. Talk to them every day. You might think that's funny, but I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just telling you, I'm very, very self-aware of what's going on inside my head, what's going on inside my heart, what's going on inside my soul. I know what's going on. It's like there's two different people arguing, like the angel and the devil sort of kind of thing. And I remember years ago when I was a kid running about with these weapons, not the devil side of it, the dark side of it was definitely the dominant side. But now it's the other way about. But his voice is still there. It's just about self-awareness, innit? And not putting yourself in situations where you think the genie's coming out the bottle. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because that's just no good for nobody. And do you know what I mean? You're not going to win every shootout, if you get what I'm saying. So it would be good if, like, we could, I don't know how to bring about self-awareness and all that. Maybe being locked in a fucking shitty jail cell year after year, Christmas after Christmas, your family dying like flies, your fucking bird fucking off, no seeing your kids growing up, I don't know. But something's got to fucking give, innit? I think so. That's what happened to me. But it's no one size fits all, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you have to figure out what you do not want to lose in your life and try and hold on to something. And I didn't even have anything to really hold on to but myself, if that sounds right, weird, whatever. When I say that, I mean self-image, self-presentation, trying to be fucking unflappable, imperturbable, whatever you want to call that. Just nothing gets to me. But things, they come out in different ways. Something will get to you, you know what I mean? Like the things that have been kind of happening, like in my life recently, like years ago, that would have put me under so much stress. I would have reacted somewhere down the line, but I didn't. I've moved on and I'm just getting on with it and no letting life drag me under again. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing else for it. I've got a 12-year-old boy who needs me out here, and to be the dad that wasn't there for the first 8 years of his life, and see a lot of wee guys around here who sometimes they'll say things to him, or they'll maybe talk about like, oh, his dad's on YouTube and all that, and one of them will say something, just daft comments, but the thing is, like, none of these wee guys have got a dad between them, man. It's actually just pretty sad, innit? But when I was a wee guy, my dad wasn't there about either, so do you know what I mean? And I think it's what I always say, positive male role model. See if you're a wee boy, can't look up to his dad, who the fuck can you look up to? We all know, innit? The kiddies, the cunts punting the gear and fucking staring down this guy and that guy and blah blah blah. I see how that pans out for you when you're fucking in your 30s, know what I mean? If you're no deed habited up or doing a lifer or a big sentence, do you know what I mean? Speaking fate experience, no, just saying this shit because I feel like saying it. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, maybe people just learn through their own mistakes. Do you know what I mean? But it would be good if they could learn from the mistakes of others. I can't remember what book I fucking read that in. Some mad Greek philosopher or some shit. Can't mind who it was, but anyway, hope that was insightful. But I'm got into boost, but obviously what I was saying before about like commenting and doing lives and all that, I was thinking about just doing one and just seeing what happened. just shooting for the hip. Do you know what I mean? Could be fun. You never know. But I don't really know if there's anything you need to do it, or you need to log in here and sign on there, or that pish. I hate all that. Do you know what I mean? But fuck it. You need to do what you need to do to get where you want to go in it. Do you know what I mean? Fuck it. I'm here now. But like I said, cheers for the comments and that. I do like the big insightful long ones, but like you're like, how the fuck do I even start replying to that, man? My fucking 5,000 word essay days are over, not on top of it. Fuck. But nah, I kinda miss writing that way, so I do. But maybe I'll get back to it. But hope yous are all fucking just plodding on my life and just fucking smash your goals, innit? Oh, speaking of that, this is what I was going to say. So this other class I go to, that Brazilian Jiu-jitsu one, right, they're having an in-house competition and stupid arse has signed up. What? But don't take this as me being good at this. I'm just like a fucking, it's like trying to play Tetris with your body. You ever played Tetris? I watch these guys here and I'm just sitting going, what the fuck? It's, I'm no doing half of this stuff. You never know, I might crack it and the elementary stuff in about 3-4 years, but it's got to take a long time before I pick any of this up, man. It's absolute madness. But anyway, the in-house competition is basically for somebody like me to see where can I improve, what are my assets and what are my weaknesses. So it's just like two matches, but with somebody on the same level as me that's been gone maybe the same time as me. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sparring fucking black belts and fucking I get smashed off a fucking 2-stripe white belt. Know what I mean? Never mind a fucking one of them, but it's gotta be fun. I'm nervous about it obviously, but fuck it. This place is really amazing. The instructors, not, they're just amazing. They're pure down to earth, approachable, not as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like about these clubs, man. Everybody's just so down to earth, no used to it. Do you know what I mean? I wish it's what I always say. I wish the world could be like a martial arts club. Like everybody's just so down to earth, approachable, just nice people. You meet nice people there, and I really like it. Even though I'm down there getting swung about, it's fun, but because I'm always making fucking stupid noises and all that when I'm getting choked, and they're like, "You alright?" I'm like, "Aye, man," but I'll need to try and watch that. But it's just fun. But aye, that's the point. Smash your goals. Live your life. You know what I mean? Like there's no tomorrow. Fuck it, man. Do you know what I mean? Don't miss out on anything that you want. You know what I mean? So hope you are having a good afternoon. And cheers for listening, subbing, commenting, interacting. And back. I'll be back on soon anyway. I'm just feeling a lot better now. So you take care, and I'll see you next time I'm back home. Ciao.